All right, listen up. Most people want success. They want results. They want to be great. But you know what they don't want? The pain, the grind, the suffering it takes to get there. You say you want discipline, but are you willing to suffer for it? Discipline isn't something you wake up with one day. It's something you build. It's something you earn. And it's earned in the fire of pain, sacrifice, and struggle. I don't care where you come from. I don't care how hard your life is. I don't care what excuses you've been feeding yourself. The truth is, discipline is a choice. And most people are too damn weak to make it. You want to build unshakable discipline? You want to become a beast? Here are the 5 keys you need to lock in right now. Do the hardest thing first. You wake up and your mind starts looking for comfort. That's the moment you punch it in the face. You take on the hardest task of the day first. Whether it's a workout, a clean shower, studying, or grinding on your dream. Attack it before your mind has a chance to negotiate. Callous your mind through repetition. Weak people quit when it gets hard. You lean into it. Discipline is about reps. Every day, every moment, you are either training yourself to be weak or training yourself to be strong. Push yourself when you don't feel like it. Because when life hits you hard, guess what? Your excuses won't save you. Eliminate your feelings from the equation. Most people move when they feel like it. That's why most people stay the same. You don't wait for motivation. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You act regardless of how you feel. Your emotions are the enemy of discipline. Override them. Develop an alter ego that doesn't accept weakness. Your mind is going to tell you, you can't do this. Take it easy. You're tired. That's the old you talking. You need to build a savage inside of you, a version of yourself that doesn't negotiate with weakness. When your mind says no, your alter ego says, fuck that, let's go. Never give yourself an easy way out. Comfort is the killer. The moment you start looking for the back door, you've already lost. You need to burn the boats. No safety nets, no excuses, no plan B. If you give yourself an out, you'll take it every time. The only way is forward, no matter how painful it gets. Listen, discipline isn't about being motivated. It's about becoming unbreakable. It's about doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. So stop waiting, stop talking, stop making excuses, do the work, get after it, say heart. Attack the hardest challenge first. Most people wake up and immediately look for comfort. They grab their phone, check the notifications, and waste the first hour of their day doing nothing. That's the first mistake. The moment you open your eyes, your brain is already looking for the easy way out. The second you hesitate, you lose. The weak version of you starts to take control, and before you know it, you've already lost the battle before the day even started. Your brain is wired for survival. It wants you to avoid pain, avoid struggle, avoid anything that makes you uncomfortable. That's why most people never grow. They let their brain trick them into thinking that comfort is the goal. But guess what? Comfort is the enemy. It's the thing that's keeping you soft, keeping you weak, keeping you from becoming the savage you're supposed to be. The moment you wake up, you've got to go to war with yourself. You don't negotiate, you don't think, you don't wait, you attack. You take the hardest thing on your list, the thing you've been avoiding, and you crush it before your brain has a chance to talk you out of it. You hit that workout. You make those calls. You work on that project. You don't let hesitation creep in. Your mind is a battlefield, and the first few moments of your day determine whether you win or lose. You don't give yourself time to think about how tired you are. You don't check social media. You don't lounge around waiting for motivation. You get up and go. You put your shoes on. You hit the pavement. You attack the day before the day attacks you. This is how you build dominance over your own mind. Most people let their feelings dictate their actions. They say, I don't feel like it today. Guess what? Your feelings don't matter. You don't need to feel like doing something to get it done. The hardest workers in the world don't wait to feel good. They just do the work. When you attack the hardest task first, something shifts inside you. You stop being a victim of your own thoughts. You take control. You prove to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses. And that momentum carries into everything else you do. You stop hesitating. You stop overthinking. You start executing. There's a reason why people who dominate their morning dominate their life. They understand that discipline is a habit, not a switch you flip when it's convenient. They don't give their mind a chance to wander into weakness. They train themselves to be relentless. And over time, that builds a mindset that refuses to quit. Discipline isn't about waiting for the right moment. It's about making the moment right now. It's about conditioning yourself to attack before your mind finds an excuse. It's about being the kind of person who gets things done no matter what. When you own your mornings, you own your day. And when you own your day, you own your life. That's the difference between people who achieve greatness and people who stay average. Average people wait, savage people execute. Look around you. How many people do you know who talk about what they're going to do but never actually do it? How many times have you said, I'll start tomorrow? How many times have you let that weak voice in your head win? Every time you do that, you reinforce weakness. Every time you hesitate, you lose. The way you break that cycle is simple. Do the hardest thing first. No matter how you feel, no matter what your excuses are, you get it done. Because every time you do, you're proving to yourself that you're built different. You're building mental armor. You're turning into the kind of person who doesn't run from challenges, you run toward them. People who are disciplined don't have some magical ability that you don't. They've just trained themselves to act. They've built the habit of attacking what's difficult instead of running from it. And over time, that mindset makes them unstoppable. They don't let fear, doubt, or laziness dictate their actions. They are in control. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep waiting, keep making excuses, keep letting your mind control you? Or are you going to make a change? Are you going to start owning your life? It's not going to be easy. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. But that's what separates the weak from the strong. That's what separates the average from the savage. You either attack the hardest challenge first or you let the hardest challenge break you. There is no middle ground. You make the decision every single day to get after it or you don't. And that decision determines whether you stay where you are or become something greater. There is no secret to success. There is no magic pill. There's only discipline. And discipline starts with the choice to attack. Attack the challenge, attack the struggle, attack the pain. And when you do, you'll find out that you're stronger than you ever imagined. But you'll never know until you step up, polish your mind through repetition. Most people have no idea what it means to build mental toughness. They think it's something you're born with. They think some people are just mentally strong while others are weak. But let me tell you something. Mental toughness is a skill. And like any skill, it's built through reps. If you want to be disciplined, if you want to be unshakable, you have to callous your mind. And the only way to do that is by doing hard things over and over and over again until your brain stops looking for a way out. You don't build mental toughness by thinking about it. You build it by suffering daily. The problem with most people is that they only do the hard things when they feel like it. They only show up when it's convenient. And that's why they stay weak. That's why they never reach their potential, because when life gets tough, they fold. They don't have the reps. They don't have the scar tissue to push through the pain. Your brain is like your hands. If you lift weights with soft hands, they're going to tear. But if you lift every day, your hands develop calluses. Your skin gets thicker. You stop feeling the pain. That's exactly what happens with your mind. The more you expose yourself to suffering, the more you train yourself to handle it. But here's the catch. You have to do it on purpose. You can't just wait for life to test you. You have to test yourself. You have to wake up and seek discomfort. Every single day, you have to put yourself through something difficult, something that makes you want to quit, and you have to push through anyway. At first, your mind is going to resist. It's going to scream at you to stop. It's going to tell you, this is too much. Why are we doing this? Just take a break. That's the old you talking. That's the weak version of you trying to survive. And the only way to kill that voice is to drown it in effort. And every time you push past your breaking point, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. Every time you refuse to quit, you grow. And over time, you stop seeing hard things as impossible. You stop doubting yourself. You stop running from challenges. Instead, you start chasing them. This is where most people fail. They think one hard workout, one tough day, one uncomfortable experience is enough to make them strong. Well, that's not how this works. Strength isn't built in a single moment. It's built through repetition. It's built through consistency. It's built through relentless effort, day in and day out. It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter if you're tired. It doesn't matter if you're sore. You show up anyway, because every time you do, you're putting in another rep. You're callousing your mind. You're making yourself unbreakable. And when life hits you with real pain, you don't crumble. You stand tall. Think about all the times you've quit in the past. Think about all the times you let yourself off the hook. Every time you do that, you reinforce weakness. Every time you break your own promises, you train yourself to fail. If you keep doing that, you'll never develop the mental armor you need to dominate your life. The only way out of that cycle is to stop giving yourself a choice. You don't try to be disciplined, you become it. You live it. You put in the work, regardless of how you feel. And every single day you wake up with a battle ahead of you, and guess what? The enemy is you. It's not your boss, it's not your past, it's not your circumstances. It's you versus you every damn day. And if you don't step into that fight ready to win, you're going to lose. You're going to fall back into comfort, into excuses, into weakness. And the more you lose that war, the harder it gets to come back. Most people don't even know they're at war. They wake up, hit snooze, and start their day already defeated. They let laziness dictate their choices. They let doubt creep into their mind. They let fear stop them before they even take the first step. And by the time the day is over, they've been beaten down by their own weakness. That's why they stay stuck. That's why nothing changes. You have to understand something. This isn't about motivation. It's not about waiting for the right mood. The right circumstances. This is about war. And wars are won through discipline, through consistency, through showing up every single day, no matter how you feel. You don't get to take days off. You don't get to negotiate with yourself. You wake up and you go to battle. That war starts the second your alarm goes off. That's the first battle of the day. Do you hit snooze or do you get up? Do you listen to the weak voice telling you to sleep in or do you dominate it? That first decision sets the tone for everything that follows. If you start the day weak, you're going to stay weak. But if you start the day strong, you build momentum. And momentum is everything. Most people have no control over their own mind. They think their thoughts just happen to them. They think their emotions dictate their actions. But that's not true. You are in control. You decide if you win or lose each day. You decide if you push through the pain or fold under pressure. You decide if you keep moving forward or stay exactly where you are. And here's the hard truth, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to drag you out of bed. Nobody is going to force you to put in the work. It's on you. You either rise up and handle your business or you don't. And if you don't, you have no one to blame but yourself. The war is yours to fight. And if you lose, it's because you let yourself lose. Winning this war isn't about making one big dramatic change. It's about winning the small battles every single day. It's about choosing discipline over comfort, strength over weakness, action over excuses. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it, pushing forward when everything in you wants to quit, and proving to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. Think about all the times you've lost this war. Think about all the times you've let yourself off the hook. Every time you skipped a workout, every time you procrastinated, every time you backed down. Because something felt hard, that was you losing. That was you choosing weakness over strength. And if you keep doing that, don't expect your life to change. Because losers don't win. But here's the good news, you can turn it around right now. You don't have to wait. You don't have to overthink it. All you have to do is make the decision to fight back. The moment you decide to stop letting weakness win, everything changes. The moment you stop making excuses, you start gaining control. And the more battles you win, the easier it gets. Winning this war isn't about being perfect. It's about refusing to quit. It's about pushing forward even when you slip up, even when you fail, even when you have a bad day. Because failure only becomes permanent when you accept it. But as long as you get up and keep fighting, you're still in the game. You're still in the war. And if you keep showing up, you will eventually win. Every day you're faced with a choice, are you going to be disciplined or are you going to be weak? Are you going to take control or are you going to let yourself slip? Are you going to win today or are you going to let today beat you? Because at the end of the day, nobody else can make that choice for you. It's all on you. Most people spend their whole lives losing this war. They tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I just don't feel like it today. And before they know it, their whole life has passed and they never became the person they were meant to be. Don't let that happen to you. Don't waste another second making excuses. Win the war starting right now. This is the reality. There is no easy way out. There is no shortcut. There is no secret formula. You either put in the work or you don't. You either suffer now or you suffer later. And the only thing standing between you and your potential is the decision to fight for it. So what's it going to be? Are you going to let yourself stay weak or are you going to step up, take control, and start winning? The choice is yours. But remember this, if you lose today, it's because you chose to. And if you win, it's because you decided that you refuse to lose anymore. Get up, fight back, win the war, every damn. Make pain your best friend, You've been running from pain your whole life. Every time things get hard, you back off. Every time you feel discomfort, you find a way out. You look for shortcuts, easy routes, and soft landings because deep down, you're afraid to suffer. And that's why you stay the same. That's why you never level up. Because growth doesn't happen in comfort. Growth happens in pain. The truth is, pain is the greatest teacher you will ever have. Pain will break you down and rebuild you stronger. Pain will show you what you're really made of, but only if you stop running from it. The people who are at the top, the people who dominate life, the people who are truly unbreakable, they didn't get there by avoiding pain. They got there by embracing it. You think the strongest people in the world don't feel pain? You think they don't struggle? You think they don't suffer? Of course they do. The difference is they welcome it. They understand that pain is the price of greatness. They don't cry about it. They don't complain. They don't make excuses. They use it. They feed off it. They let it shape them into something unstoppable. Most people have it all backwards. They think success comes from avoiding struggle. They think discipline is about making things easier, but that's not how it works. Discipline is about doing what's hard on purpose. It's about seeking out pain instead of running from it. Because the more pain you endure, the stronger you become. You need to stop seeing pain as the enemy. It's not here to destroy you, it's here to make you better. It's here to rip away your weaknesses, expose your flaws, and force you to rise. But if you keep avoiding it, if you keep making excuses, if you keep looking for the easy way out, you will never grow. You will stay the same weak person you've always been. Look at your own life. Look at all the times you backed down when things got hard. Look at all the times you quit when you felt uncomfortable. Every time you did that, you got weaker. You trained yourself to be fragile. You told yourself that pain was something to fear instead of something to face head on. And now you wonder why you're not where you want to be. It's because you haven't suffered enough. You haven't put yourself through enough hell to come out stronger on the other side. You think you want success, but you don't want the pain that comes with it. And that's why you stay stuck. That's why you're average. Because the people who are truly great, the ones who dominate, they are the ones who have suffered the most. You have to stop thinking pain is a punishment. It's not. Pain is the process. Pain is the entry fee to the life you want. Every time you push through, every time you refuse to quit, every time you embrace the suffering instead of avoiding it, you win. And the more you win, the more unstoppable you become. But here's the catch: you don't just face pain once and move on. This is forever. Every day you will be tested. Every day you will have a choice: lean into the pain or back away. And the second you back away, you start to lose. The second you take the easy route, you start to weaken. That's why you have to make pain your best friend. You have to start craving it. You have to start seeking it out. You have to rewire your mind to love the struggle instead of hating it. Because the people who truly run the game, the ones who are disciplined, relentless, and unbreakable, are the ones who live in pain every day and keep going anyway. So let me ask you something: how much pain can you take? How much suffering are you willing to endure? Because that will determine how far you go in life. If you keep avoiding discomfort, you will stay weak. If you keep making excuses, you will stay exactly where you are. But if you embrace the pain, if you lean into it instead of away from it, there is no limit to how far you can go. Pain is the fire that forges warriors. Pain is what separates the elite from the average. Pain is the difference between the people who talk about discipline and the ones who actually live it. So you need to make a decision. Are you going to keep hiding from it? Or are you going to step into the fire and become something greater? This isn't about motivation. This isn't about feeling good. This is about rewiring your entire existence to thrive in pain. This is about creating a version of yourself that doesn't run, doesn't hide, and doesn't quit no matter how hard it gets. And once you become that person, nothing will ever stop you again. Because when pain becomes your best friend, when struggle becomes something you embrace, when you start looking for the hardest path on purpose, that's when you become truly unstoppable. That's when you become a savage. That's when you finally understand what it means to be disciplined for life. Kill your old self. The person you are right now is not good enough. If they were, you'd already have the life you want. You'd already be disciplined. You'd already be unstoppable. But you're not. You're still making excuses. You're still hesitating. You're still letting weakness run your life. And that's because you're still holding on to the old version of yourself, the version that needs to die. The old you is soft. The old you is lazy. The old you is full of doubt, fear, and hesitation. The old you has been losing for years, and yet you're still carrying them around like dead weight. You say you want to change, but you're still making decisions like the same weak person you've always been. And until you kill that version of yourself, you will never level up. You need to realize something: your old self is your biggest enemy. Not your boss, not your circumstances, not the people around you. The biggest thing stopping you is the person in the mirror. The person who keeps choosing comfort over discipline. The person who keeps choosing the easy route instead of the hard one. The person who keeps settling for less. And if you don't destroy that version of yourself, it will destroy you. It will keep you weak. It will keep you stuck. It will keep you playing small and living below your potential. And that's the sad reality. Most people never escape. They spend their whole lives as a half version of what they could have been because they never had the guts to kill their old self. But here's the truth. You don't just wake up one day and suddenly become disciplined. You don't just flip a switch and become unstoppable. You have to burn your old identity to the ground. You have to rip apart every habit, every excuse, every weakness that has been holding you back and replace it with something stronger. This isn't just about changing your actions. This is about changing your entire existence. It's about becoming a person who thrives in discomfort, who runs toward the hard things instead of away from them. A person who is ruthless, relentless, and refuses to be the same weak person they were yesterday. Over time, that becomes your new normal. Pain stops feeling like pain. Suffering stops feeling like suffering. It just becomes who you are. People always ask, how do I stay motivated? You don't. You stop relying on motivation. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You get up and you put in the reps. Because when you've done something enough times, it stops being a decision, it becomes automatic. And that's when you become dangerous. When you train your mind to expect discomfort, nothing can break you. Nothing can shake you. You stop being afraid of challenges because you've built yourself to thrive in them. And that's what separates the strong from the weak. That's what separates the disciplined from the undisciplined. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep making excuses? Are you going to keep running from pain? Or are you going to callous your mind? Are you going to show up every day, no matter what, and put in the reps? That's the difference between success and failure. That's the difference between being average and being elite. The choice is yours. But remember this, when life gets tough, the person who has calloused their mind through relying through repetition is the one who survives, the one who thrives, the one who never breaks. Eliminate your feelings from the equation. Most people let their feelings control their actions. That's why they fail. That's why they stay the same. Because they wait until they feel like it. They wait until the conditions are perfect. They wait until motivation magically appears. And guess what? It never does. Because feelings are liars. Feelings will tell you to stay comfortable. Feelings will tell you to take it easy. And if you listen to them, you'll never accomplish anything. You think the greats feel like putting the work every day? You think the strongest, hardest, most disciplined people in the world wake up every morning excited to grind? Hell no. They wake up tired, they wake up sore. They wake up just like you with a voice in their head telling them to take it easy. But the difference is they don't listen to it. They override their feelings and do what needs to be done. That's what discipline is. It's doing what you need to do regardless of how you feel. It's about controlling your emotions instead of letting them control you. Weak people operate on emotion. They move when they're happy. They work hard when they're excited. But the moment they get tired, frustrated, or unmotivated, they shut down. They quit. That's why they never reach their full potential. If you want to be unstoppable, you have to train yourself to move without emotion. You have to rewire your brain so that action isn't a choice, it's automatic. You don't ask yourself, do I feel like working out? No. You put your shoes on and get to work. You don't ask yourself, do I feel like studying, training, grinding? No. You just do it because that's who you are now. Most people want discipline, but they don't want to go through what it takes to get it. They want to stay comfortable. They want to feel good all the time. And that's exactly why they never change. Because growth doesn't happen when you feel good. Growth happens when you're in pain. Growth happens when you push through exhaustion, frustration, and discomfort anyway. Look at your own life. How many times have you let your feelings hold you back? How many times have you skipped workouts because you were too tired? How many times have you given up on goals because things got too hard? That's your emotions running your life. And as long as you keep letting them control you, you'll never get to where you want to be. The real you, the strongest version of you, is buried under all those excuses. The only way to bring that version out is to eliminate emotion from the equation. You need to stop acting based on how you feel and start acting based on what needs to be done. That's how you separate yourself from the weak. That's how you become unbreakable. Your brain is going to fight you. It's going to scream at you. It's going to tell you, we're too tired, we don't want to do this. Let's take a break. That's your old self talking. That's the part of you that wants to stay average. You have to shut that voice down. You have to prove to yourself that you're in control now. There's a reason why so few people achieve greatness. It's because greatness isn't built in moments of comfort. It's built in moments of struggle. It's built when you're dead tired, but you show up anyway. It's built when you're frustrated, broken, and exhausted, but you keep moving forward. That's what makes the difference between the elite and the average. You think a Navy SEAL stops training because he's tired. You think the greatest athletes, the hardest workers, the most disciplined people in the world stop when they don't feel like it. No, because they understand that their emotions don't matter. What matters is what needs to be done. What matters is the mission. Your life is no different. You have a mission, a purpose, a goal. And every time you let your feelings get in the way, you push that goal further and further out of reach. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, you weaken yourself. And the weaker you get, the easier it becomes to quit the next time. That's how failure is built, one excuse at a time. But guess what? Discipline is built the same way. One decision at a time. One action at a time. One moment at a time where you override your emotions and do what needs to be done. That's how you rewire your brain. That's how you turn yourself into someone who doesn't hesitate, doesn't second guess, and doesn't back down. So ask yourself, are you going to keep letting your emotions control you? Are you going to keep waiting until you feel like it? Or are you going to take charge of your own life? Because if you want to be great, you can't afford to let your feelings make decisions for you. You have to make those decisions yourself. This isn't about motivation. This isn't about inspiration. This is about getting up and to work no matter what. No matter how tired, frustrated, or beaten down you feel, no matter how much your mind tells you to quit, the second you start controlling your emotions instead of letting them control you, become a different person. You become someone dangerous. Because when you move without emotion, when you execute with or without motivation, nothing can stop you. Nothing can break you. And that's when you become truly unstoppable. Dominate the voice in your head. That voice in your head is your biggest enemy. It's the thing holding you back. It's the thing whispering to you every single day. Stay in bed. Skip the workout. Take it easy. You've done enough. And if you listen to it, even once, you lose. Because the second you give that voice power, it starts to own you. And when it owns you, you become weak, soft, and undisciplined. Most people never realize they're being controlled by that voice. They think their thoughts are their own. They don't question why they always choose comfort, why they always hesitate, why they always quit when things get hard. But the truth is they're being dictated by the weakest version of themselves. And if you don't take control of that voice, it will ruin your life. That voice wants to keep you safe. It wants to keep you comfortable. It wants you to do just enough to get by, but never enough to actually level up. That's why most people never change. They let that voice trick them into staying exactly where they are. And over time, they start believing its lies. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I should quit. Maybe this is too hard. And before they know it, they built a life full of excuses instead of results. But here's the truth. That voice is not you. It's a parasite. It's a weakness that has been built up over years of avoiding struggle. And the only way to destroy it is to dominate it. You don't argue with it. You don't negotiate with it. You silence it with action. Every time that voice tells you to quit, you do the exact opposite. It says stay in bed. You get up immediately. It says skip the workout. You go twice as hard. It says you can't do this. You prove to yourself that you can. The more you fight back, the weaker that voice becomes. And eventually it shuts up. It stops controlling you. It stops dictating your actions. And that's when you become dangerous. That's when you become someone who doesn't hesitate, doesn't back down, and doesn't stop no matter what. But let me tell you something, you're never going to kill that voice permanently. It will always be there. It will always try to creep back in. And that's why discipline isn't something you do once it's a war. You fight every single day. The moment you let your guard down, that voice comes back stronger. And if you're not careful, it will drag you right back to where you started. That's why you have to stay ruthless. You have to wake up every day and destroy that voice before it destroys you. You have to create habits that leave it no room to breathe. Because if you give it even the smallest bit of power, it will take over again. It will find an excuse, a reason, a justification to make you weak. And before you know it, you'll be back in that same cycle of procrastination, doubt, and failure. Look at your life right now. How many times has that voice stopped you from going after what you want? How many times has it talked you out of taking action? That voice has been running your life for years. And it's time to shut it down, because until you do, you'll never reach your full potential. You'll always be stuck. Always wonder what could have been if you had just fought back. The difference between successful people and everyone else isn't talent. It isn't luck. It isn't intelligence. It's the ability to shut that voice up and execute anyway. They hear the same doubts, the same excuses, the same weakness, but they refuse to listen. They dominate their own mind. And because of that, they win. This is what separates the elite from the average, the strong from the weak, the disciplined from the undisciplined. The people who achieve greatness aren't special. They've just trained themselves to not listen to their own bullshit. They don't let weakness live in their head. They attack it. They overpower it. And they replace it with the voice of a savage. Because guess what? You don't just have a weak voice in your head. You also have a strong one. You have a voice that tells you to keep pushing, keep grinding, keep showing up no matter what. But most people never hear that voice because they've been feeding the weak one for too long. The strong voice is buried. It's drowning under years of excuses and self-doubt. The only way to bring it back is through action, through relentless discipline, through proving to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. That's how you flip the script. That's how you turn that weak voice into background noise and let the strong voice take over. But here's the real test. Are you actually going to do it? Or are you going to keep letting that weak voice own you? Because if you don't start shutting it down right now, it's just going to keep getting stronger. And before you know it, you'll be stuck in the same place for the rest of your life. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep listening to that voice telling you to quit? Or are you going to fight back? Because at the end of the day, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to do the work for you. It's on you to silence the weakness and take control of your own mind. The choice is yours. But remember this, every time you give in to that weak voice, you make it stronger. And every time you dominate it, you become one step closer to becoming the savage you were meant to be. Win the war against yourself every day. So ask yourself right now, what part of you needs to die? What habits? What mindset? What behaviors? Because until you face that and start cutting away the weakness, you will never transform. You will always be dragging around the same excuses, the same failures, the same soft mindset that has kept you average for years. You don't evolve by accident. You evolve by destroying everything weak inside you and replacing it with something stronger. You evolve by doing the hard things every single day until they become second nature. You evolve by suffering on purpose, by testing your limits, by proving to yourself that you are no longer the person you used to be. And here's the real challenge. You have to kill your old self every day. This isn't a one-time thing. This is a battle you fight constantly. The second you stop fighting, the old you starts creeping back in. And if you're not careful, they will pull you right back to where you started. So make the decision right now. Are you going to keep carrying around the old version of yourself? Or are you going to burn that version down and step into something greater? Because if you're not willing to do that, then stop saying you want to change. Stop saying you want to be disciplined. Because discipline starts when your old self dies. Kill the excuses, kill the doubt, kill the version of you that keeps losing. And when you do that, when you finally let go of the person holding you back, you'll see what you were truly capable of all along. Earn your respect every day. Nobody owes you anything, not respect, not recognition, not validation. If you want to be respected, if you want to be seen as someone who's disciplined, unbreakable, and relentless, you have to earn it every single day. There are no free passes. There is no moment where you get to relax. The second you stop proving yourself, you lose everything. Most people walk around expecting respect when they haven't done a damn thing to deserve it. They talk about what they're going to do. They hype themselves up. They act like they're disciplined. But when it's time to actually put in the work, they disappear. They don't show up. They make excuses. And then they wonder why nobody takes them seriously. Respect isn't something you get once and keep forever. It's something you fight for every day. The second you stop showing up, the second you start cutting corners, the second you start slipping, you lose it. Because respect isn't about what you've done in the past. It's about who you are today. You think people respect you for what you say you're going to do. No. They respect results. They respect consistency. They respect seeing you show up day in and day out, no matter how hard it gets. And if you're not doing that, then stop expecting people to treat you like someone who is disciplined, because you haven't earned it. And let's be real, this isn't about other people. This is about you. Do you respect yourself? Do you wake up every day and look in the mirror knowing that you gave everything you had? Or do you look in the mirror and see someone who keeps backing down, keeps making excuses, keeps settling for less? Because if you don't respect yourself, nobody else will. You earn your own respect the same way you earn anyone else's, by showing up, by putting in the work, by proving to yourself over and over again that you are not weak, you are not average, and you are not going to be the same person you were yesterday. Every day is a test. Every day you have the chance to either build yourself up or break yourself down. And that choice is always yours. The problem is most people make the wrong choice. They take the easy road. They do just enough to get by. They never push themselves past their limits. And then they wonder why they feel like failures. If you want to respect yourself, if you want to be proud of who you are, you have to suffer for it. You have to do the things you don't want to do. You have to push when you don't feel like pushing. You have to earn it. Because if you haven't earned it, then it means nothing. So here's your reality check. Have you earned your respect today? Have you put in the work? Have you done something that makes you stand a little taller? That makes you look in the mirror and say, damn right, I showed up today. Or are you still waiting for motivation? Still making excuses, still backing down? Nobody cares what you did yesterday. Nobody cares what you did last week. What are you doing today? Are you proving to yourself that you are disciplined, or are you just talking about it? Because at the end of the day, you either earn it or you don't. And if you don't get to complain when nobody takes you seriously. Earn your respect every damn day. No more excuses go to war. Everything you need has been laid out. You've been handed the truth raw and unfiltered. Now it's on you. No more waiting. No more talking. No more hoping for some miracle to come and change your life. Because nobody's coming to save you. You either step up and do the work, or you stay exactly where you are, weak, undisciplined, and full of regret. There's no middle ground. There is no easy way out. Either you build discipline and take control, or you stay stuck in the same cycle of failure and excuses for the rest of your life. The choice is yours. You've got 8 keys, 8 lessons that, if you actually apply them, will transform you into someone who is unbreakable. But that's the thing, you have to apply them. Reading this speech doesn't change anything. Getting fired up for a few minutes doesn't change anything. Execution is the only thing that matters. You have to stop fearing discomfort. You have to stop backing down when things get hard. You have to make the decision right now that you are done being the person who quits, who waits, who hopes for motivation to magically appear. Because motivation is a lie. It will fail you every time. The only thing you can rely on is discipline. And discipline is built every single day. It's built when you do what you don't want to do. It's built when you push yourself past the point of exhaustion. It's built when you refuse to listen to the weak voice in your head telling you to stop. Every battle you win against yourself makes you stronger. Every time you lean into the pain, you become harder to break. So ask yourself, are you going to win today? Are you going to take this fire and turn it into action? Or are you going to let it fade like every other time you got inspired and did nothing? Because this is your moment. This is the fork in the road where you either step up or step back. You either become the savage who dominates their life, or you stay the person who lets life dominate them. You either put in the work or you don't. And if you don't, you have no right to complain. No right to feel sorry for yourself. No right to sit there and wonder why nothing ever changes. This is war. And the battlefield is your mind. You wake up and fight every single day, where you lose every single day. And if you lose enough days, your whole life becomes a loss. That's what's at stake. That's what this is about. So what's it going to be? Are you going to take this speech and make it mean something? Are you going to stop waiting and start doing? Or are you going to stay exactly where you are, trapped in the same excuses, the same weaknesses, the same failures? This is your life. This is your war. And there's only one way to win. Show up. Put in the work. Earn it. Every damn day. Now get out there and handle your business.